Everyone believes the Roman Empire fell, but what if that belief is the greatest historical illusion ever created? What if Rome never truly died, but instead survived in silence, shaping the world from the shadows? And if you want to uncover the hidden truths behind forgotten civilizations and lost power, subscribe to Forgotten Thrones and step into history beyond textbooks, because the Roman Empire is traditionally remembered as a civilization that rose magnificently and then collapsed dramatically. Yet this familiar story oversimplifies a far deeper historical reality, because Rome did not simply fall and disappear in the year 476 AD when the last Western emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was removed from power. Instead, Rome entered a long process of transformation, survival, and reinvention that allowed its influence, systems, and identity to persist for centuries, shaping the foundations of the modern world in ways that are often invisible but profoundly enduring. And to understand this hidden survival of the Roman Empire, one must first abandon the idea that an empire exists only through emperors, borders, or armies, because Rome was not merely a political entity, but a complex civilization built upon law, administration, culture, infrastructure, language, and collective identity, all of which proved far more resilient than any single ruler or dynasty. For when the Western Roman Empire formally ended, there was no sudden collapse of Roman life across Europe, no universal destruction of cities, and no immediate abandonment of Roman customs. As Roman senators continued to serve in advisory roles, Roman tax systems remained in use under new rulers. Roman courts continued to judge disputes according to Roman law. Roman roads still carried merchants, soldiers, and messengers across provinces. Roman coins remained in circulation, and local populations still identified themselves as Roman, even under new Germanic rulers who themselves often adopted Roman titles, Roman clothing, Roman law codes, Roman language, and Roman systems of governance rather than replacing them, because Roman order was not viewed as something to be destroyed, but as a powerful framework that legitimized authority and stabilized society. And while political unity in the West weakened due to fragmentation and local rule, the Eastern Roman Empire stood strong, ruling from Constantinople, a city built to embody Roman greatness and continuity, protected by massive defensive walls, enriched by global trade routes linking Europe, Asia, and Africa, governed by emperors who saw themselves as the rightful successors of Augustus and Constantine, maintaining an unbroken imperial line. And this Eastern Empire, later mislabeled by historians as the Byzantine Empire, never believed Rome had fallen at all, because its people called themselves Romans, its rulers governed through Roman law and Roman bureaucracy, its officials collected taxes using Roman methods, and its armies marched under Roman banners, maintaining continuity of administration, diplomacy, religion, and military structure for nearly 1,000 years after the fall of the Western throne, proving that Rome did not vanish, but relocated its heart eastward, where it remained a dominant force in global affairs, influencing Europe, the Middle East, and Asia through diplomacy, warfare, trade, culture, and religion, particularly under Emperor Justinian I, whose reign represented one of the boldest and most ambitious attempts to restore Roman unity, as his generals reconquered Italy, North Africa, and parts of Spain, briefly reuniting much of the Mediterranean under Roman control and reviving the dream of a united Roman world. But Justinian's most enduring achievement was not territorial expansion, but the preservation and systematization of Roman law through the Corpus Juris Civilis, a monumental legal compilation that organized centuries of Roman legal thought into a coherent system, defining concepts of justice, citizenship, property ownership, inheritance, contracts, and state authority that continue to shape modern legal systems today, meaning that every time a modern court enforces a contract, protects private property, defines civil rights, or interprets written law, it unknowingly echoes Roman legal principles, And as political authority evolved and military power shifted, Rome found a new form of immortality through Christianity, which transformed from a persecuted faith into a state religion that absorbed Roman administrative structure, hierarchy, discipline, and legal mindset, allowing the Roman Church to become a stabilizing institution during centuries of invasion, political collapse, and uncertainty, with the Pope inheriting a form of imperial moral authority that crossed borders, influenced kings, crowned emperors, settled disputes, and shaped ethical law across Europe, while Latin remained the language of theology, governance, scholarship, and education, preserving Roman intellectual traditions long after emperors disappeared from the West, and as new European kingdoms rose from the ruins of the Western Empire. They did not reject Rome, but sought legitimacy through it, adopting Roman titles, Roman legal systems, Roman symbols of power, Roman architecture, and Roman political concepts, culminating in the coronation of Charlemagne as Emperor of the Romans in 800 AD, an event that created the Holy Roman Empire and demonstrated that even centuries after its supposed fall, Rome was still considered the ultimate source of authority, prestige, and legitimacy, a model so powerful that European rulers continued to invoke it for over 1,000 years, and beyond politics and religion, Rome survived in everyday life through infrastructure and habit. As Roman roads shaped trade routes for centuries, Roman bridges remained in use, Roman aqueducts inspired engineering marvels, Roman city planning influenced urban design across Europe, and Roman architectural principles defined public buildings, courthouses, and monuments, while Latin evolved into the Romance languages spoken today by hundreds of millions of people, meaning that the Roman voice never fell silent, but merely changed its accent and pronunciation. And even the calendar, the names of months, legal terminology, political concepts, military ranks, and civic institutions are Roman inheritances, so deeply woven into modern life that they feel natural rather than historical, further proving that Rome did not disappear, but became invisible through familiarity. And when Western Europe experienced intellectual decline during the early medieval period, Roman knowledge did not vanish, but was preserved within the Islamic world, where scholars translated Roman and Greek texts into Arabic, expanded scientific understanding, refined medicine, astronomy, mathematics, and philosophy, built universities and hospitals, and safeguarded classical knowledge that later returned to Europe, fueling the Renaissance, a cultural awakening that consciously looked back to Rome for inspiration, reviving classical ideals of reason, humanism, proportion, civic responsibility, and individual potential, influencing art, architecture, philosophy, education, and political theory. And these Roman-inspired ideas help shape modern republics, constitutions, and systems of governance, most clearly seen in the United States, whose founders deliberately modeled their government on Roman precedents, adopting a Senate, written law, republican ideals, and monumental architecture designed to symbolize permanence, order, and authority, demonstrating that even in the modern world Rome remains a blueprint for power, governance, and civilization. And when all these threads are woven together, the survival of the Eastern Roman Empire, the transformation of Roman authority through the Church, the endurance of Roman law, language, infrastructure, and institutions, the preservation of Roman knowledge, and the repeated revival of Roman ideals, it becomes clear that the Roman Empire did not end in a single year or fall to a single event, because Rome was not a fragile structure dependent on armies alone, but a flexible civilization, capable of adaptation, allowing it to dissolve politically while remaining culturally, legally, and intellectually alive, transforming from an empire of conquest into an empire of influence that embedded itself into the foundations of other societies, quietly shaping the world long after its banners were lowered. And this is why the story of Rome is not a story of collapse, but of survival, proving that the most powerful empires are not those that conquer the most land, but those whose ideas outlive their borders, making Rome not a memory of the past, but a living presence within the systems that govern our world today. And if you want to continue uncovering the hidden empires, lost kings, forgotten dynasties, and buried truths that still shape our present, then like, subscribe, and enjoy Forgotten Thrones, where history never truly dies.